Okay, so Netflix big post-apocalyptic film has just dropped. Right, it is Leave the World Behind. This is written and directed by Sam Esmail. The film is produced by Sam Esmail, Marissa Yeres Gill, Lisa Roberts Gillian, Chad Hamilton, Julia Roberts. It's executive produced by Daniel M. Stillman, Michelle and Barack Obama, Nick Krishnamurthy, Tonya Davis, and Rumaan Alam. It is co-produced by Adam Brightman and Peter Cohen, and it's associate produced by Dion Wood, Greg Tilson, Sean Schuler, and Michelle Caspani. Music is from Mac Quayle. Todd Campbell handles cinematography, while Lisa Lazek edits the piece. Beth Bowling and Susie Farris are on casting duties, while Anastasia White handles production design, Christine Foley, art direction. Set decoration is David Scheisinger, and Catherine Marie Thomas handles costume design. Okay, so the film stars Julia Roberts as Amanda Sanford. Her husband Clay is played by Ethan Hawke. They've got two kids. There's Archie, played by Charlie Evans, and his sister Rose, played by Farrah Mackenzie. Then we have got G.H. Scott, aka George, played by Mahershala Ali. His daughter Ruth, played by Myha'la Herald. You have also got Danny, played by Kevin Bacon. Danny's daughter, who, we don't really get much of. Doesn't even get a name, the poor girl. She's played by Alexis Ray Folenza. There's Salvador. She's played by Vanessa Aspiliaja. Officer Crow, played by Josh Drennan. Jocelyn, played by Erica Chu. Taylor, played by Orly Gutzman. Yeah, that's our main lot of people. The gist of the story is where did I put that? Okay. The gist of the story is Amanda and Clay's aspirational vacation with their teenage children. I mean, Archie's teenage. I don't know. It's not really clear how old Ruth is, but she seems like she's, I don't know, 10 at the oldest. I'd have said maybe 11, but I don't know. Anyway, that's just here or there. Yes, their vacation with their children is interrupted by the arrival of a middle-aged man and his daughter who owned a holiday home and who have fled an unprecedented blackout in the city. When the internet, television, and radio stop working, as does the landline, they have no way of finding out what is happening. As strange sonic booms shatter the peace of the countryside and animals start to migrate in strange ways, the physical and mental health of the families begins to disintegrate. The renters are upscale and white. The owners are upscale and black. The issues of race clash and become distractions to the more alarming things which are happening all around them. Right. Well, this is an interesting one. It's actually based on a book of the same name that came out in 2020 from Rumaan Alam. Okay, so I don't know how the book is, but I would say that some of these things mentioned in the synopsis don't necessarily play out as maybe hoped. Right, the whole race disparity thing, it's there, right, but not overly addressed. And it's kind of one of those things that I feel needs to be addressed. You know what I mean? Like the daughter, Ruth, she sees it, right? She makes some veiled comments around it, but George doesn't say a thing. He kind of tries to let it go. And Clay doesn't say a thing. Now, here's the thing, right? If I was married, even dating, you know what I mean? Even if it's a friend and they made some straight up racist or bullshit comment, I'm going to call you on that comment. You know what I mean? I'm be like, yo, how long have I known? You never shown that you are a piece of shit. So what the fuck is that about? Right? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna make you don't necessarily make the assumption that's exactly what it is, even though you might feel it's clearly that, but give them the you know what I mean, opportunity to explain themselves. So I'm just like Clay. Yeah, it was a little baffling why my man didn't be like, I mean, why would you think this isn't their house? Right? Why would you think like there's so many things that happen? It's kind of ridiculous, you know. There are things though I did like. Like I think at the start of this, we do see people acting in a way that you think, okay, that makes sense with what is happening. But there are other things that kind of don't get addressed. Now, one of the big selling points of this film, right? I'd see a lot of interviews from Esmail, and he's talking, going, oh, Barack Obama gave me a lot of notes on this script. A lot of notes. And it's like, okay. Now, I'm assuming it's just on the political stuff, right? What would happen, you know, if something went down? What kind of emergency beacons would go out, right? What's the protocol? That's what I imagine it would be on. Because I hope it wasn't on the fucking story, right? Because there's so many weird holes in the story. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, hold on. If everything's gone weird, and you're in a place you don't know, are you really gonna let your kids just go wandering? Right? That one seemed a bit weird. And you've got two people then going out in cars where you're just like, but they're the cars. So if something crazy happened to both of those people, what happens now? Right? Where do we go? Like you wouldn't want two people out at the same time. You know, there's certain things where you're just like, wait, what? And that's aside from the whole race shit. You know, it doesn't necessarily make any sense. And I think there needs to be a real good reason to do it. And the reason and rationale just didn't seem that. You know what I mean? And I think that's the big thing, right? There's just things happening in this which don't necessarily make sense. And we don't get, because I understand you're trying to make a film, right, where everyone's on edge, right? You're keeping the audience questioning, wait, what's happening? Where are we going? Which is all good and fine. I'm down with that. But I just want logical comms here, right? Because if someone's doing something dumb, someone's got to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? Just those simple things, right? There's a situation with Archie and his phone that doesn't get addressed at all. Because it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. And then when you think about then what he goes to do off those, like, huh? You know what I mean? You just think like he's probably got something on his phone. So I don't know why he would need, you know what I mean? It's just there's just certain things that you're just a bit miffed at. Some of the conversations, you know, between Ruth and Clay, right? There's just certain things. The whole thing with GH and oh god, Amanda. Right, there's this assumption is made. I mean, Amanda makes a lot of assumptions, but she makes a certain assumption, which I don't necessarily think is there, right? But again, not brought up, right? It's just like, what are we doing? Where are we going? And there's these secrets that people are holding on to, and it's just like, yo, you're in this weird situation, so surely you're not holding things. Like, why would you be holding things back? Again, it just doesn't make sense. It's a lot of scratching of heads happening. And the end, I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know what that was. Right? Considering everything that's going down, considering, you know, what someone must know, the fact that these things are happening is crazy. Then also, here's the thing. With the love of this thing, you'd think they'd have it already. Right? You'd think they'd have the thing that they do at the end. That's what you'd think. You'd be like, wait, why wouldn't they have this? They clearly have a love for this thing. So you're saying that they don't own that? Like, what? Huh? It's weird. And just the thing I've always hate. The thing I hate, man, is too much mood music. Too much music to be like, oh, this is getting suspenseful. People, oh, something's coming up. There's just too much of that. We don't need it. You know what I mean? I don't think you ever need that. Look, you can do something on the low to help create, you know what I mean, an ambiance. But we don't need to go over the top with this shit. It just felt they went over the top with it, right? I think this is one of those films where if you loved something like Cabin in the Woods, right? Cabin in the Woods, if you loved that one. If you loved White Noise, right? It was Netflix big post-apocalyptic thing from last year. I think this might work for you. You know, there's so many, you know, post-apocalyptic films. Some of them excellent, some of them not so much, right? Some of them don't necessarily make a whole heap of sense. You know, I think this one wanted to be a bit like Don't Look Up, you know, with elements of, say, The Road in there. Now, recently, right at the London Film Festival, we had I think it's Leave the World Behind. No, that's what. It's not Leave the World Behind. That's what I just looked at. Ah, I'm an idiot. People, no, no, no. It's called The End We Start From. Apologies. Now that again, it's this kind of character-driven lo-fi piece, and it was excellent. I believe it's dropping on Prime. I think it's dropping on Prime early 2024. That's an excellent motherfucking film, people. Right? It's really good. And there's some suspense there. It's a kind of like, oh, what's going to happen here? What are we doing? But you look at the decisions being made and you'd be like, oh, I can see the logic in that. Right? Now, it's not always, oh, I would do that. No, 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 no. Right? People can do all manner of crazy things. And you'd be like, I would never do that. Well, what do they do? But you'd be like, oh, from what we know of that character, that makes so much sense. Of course, that motherfucker would do that thing. Right? Of course, you would do that. Right? That's what you want. That's what you want from these things. But yeah, Leave the World Behind just didn't hit like that for me. But as I said, right, if you like Don't Look Up, if you liked God, what was that other fucking film I just said? Oh my, Cabin in the Woods. Yes. If you enjoyed those, I think Don't Leave the World Behind will I think that will work for you. So it's now available on Netflix. Go check. I would say the acting is decent. The acting is decent. I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with the acting. The emotions our cast give us, all of that worked. All of that worked for me. It was just the story felt like it was just a bit aimless, even though it's clearly heading somewhere, right? It's trying to do a thing, but it just didn't hit for me, people. Didn't hit for me, but it may well hit for you. So if you feel inclined, go and check out Leave the World Behind. It is now streaming on Netflix.